So, everyone, check it out. We're back in a new, interesting location. We're in my hometown, Lansing, Michigan, and today I have what I consider to be a very interesting guest. He's not just my uncle, but he's also a pro fighter, turned pro fighter in his 50s. So it goes to show that it's never too late.
Never too late.
Never too late. Anyway, so without any further delay, this is my uncle, Leroy Ortega. Leroy, the old man Ortega.
The old man.
Yeah. All right. So look, we'll start things off simple. Like I said, first question I got for you is, how's combat sports, MMA, martial arts, anything? How has that changed your life?
It's changed my life a lot, actually. It definitely showed me to be more patient with people. And, it showed me, to respect people a lot.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Because I used to be a little bit of a hothead when I was younger.
No.
And now it's like, just learn to respect people and people respect you right back.
Absolutely.
So
how old were you when you first started? All right, hold on. What was your first discipline, and how old were you when you started?
my first discipline was my dad. But I started doing martial arts when I was 9.
Okay.
Okay, my dad started showing me stuff that he knew from the service, because my dad was in the service.
Okay. Was it in the Army or Marine Corps? Or?
Army.
Oh, awesome. I didn't know that.
So, so he started teaching me stuff like that. And, of course, he started showing me, he introduced me to Bruce Lee movies.
Yeah?
And, of course, it went from there, and never stopped loving it and been doing it ever since. And, just fighting at the schools and stuff like that. And then started, we get together with the other schools, other martial arts schools, and go and challenge their guys, and they would come to our school and, old school,
So what was your, I guess, what was your first martial art that you started?
I started doing Kung Fu first.
Yeah?
Yes.
Was that here in Lansing?
No, that was in Texas.
Oh, in Texas. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, so I started doing that in Texas, in Hartford, Texas. When I met a friend of mine over there, and I didn't know that he knew it. And he started, he threw me around a couple of times, and I was like, I just like, okay, and I fell more in love with it. So,
Yeah. So when was this? So you were about how old again?
9 years old.
9 years old. So this puts back in what, late 70s?
Yeah.
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 It's a different world back then.
Yeah, dinosaurs and stuff.
No, that's fantastic. So when you first started, okay, sorry, you had your first introduction with a friend of yours, and you said he kind of just threw you around a bit.
Yeah.
Did that make you, kind of feel like, hey, I want to, learn that as well, or I want to learn how to defend myself, or what was that like? How did that?
Yeah, it was pretty much both, because I was sort of bullied at the same time.
Okay.
And then because I was really, really skinny, so I was bullied, and then that's why my dad, started showing us and stuff. And then when he did that, I was like, I just fell in love with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I just got to learn this, to defend myself, and just to learn something new, I know, you're young, and it's like, kids don't do that. Well, I did, I loved it, and
Yeah.
I still do. So
Did okay, so obviously your dad showed you, kind of introduced you. How did your mom feel about that?
well, my mom loved it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my mom's a old school gangster, So
Yeah.
yeah, so she was more like, you better defend yourself, I at this point I still don't know who was tougher, my mom or my dad, because they were both pretty tough. So
It's like that in a lot of households, I think.
yeah, I think my mom won though.
Okay, so all right, you did Kung Fu. Like, how long did you do it? Like, where did it take you?
I did it for like maybe a year or so.
Okay.
And then until he moved away, So that's pretty much how that happened.
Gotcha. Yeah, I heard that
Yeah,
before.
and then came over here, and we moved back over here to Lansing, and then we just I met other people in the school, and they knew martial arts and just taekwondo, and I took a little bit of taekwondo and took a little bit of Shotokan karate, and I learned how to do weapons,
Yeah.
stuff like that, and yeah, then
So you've a bit of a kind of a mixed bag of martial arts. You'd have a good understanding of several. So, like, I guess give us like a quick rundown of your resume. You know, I know you've given it to me before, and it is
Yeah.
lengthy. So,
well, I do the grappling, of course. I do the jiu-jitsu. I do boxing. I do Shotokan. I do Savat. Of course, I do some kung fu, and I still do it a little bit, even through the art that I know now.
Yeah.
Because I do. I got my black belt through Jeet Kune Do, through
Yeah.
Loretta's Cross Trainers, which is a cousin of mine.
yeah.
And yeah, so I do all that. The taekwondo, of course. Do the wrestling. Yeah, I could. Yeah, I do a lot of stuff.
Who
I do
who would
weapons and stuff and everything. So
who what weapon? What weapon?
I
I know. Growing up, you always had the swords, the wooden swords, and then you
Yeah.
had the nunchucks, and
Yeah.
then what? You always had something floating around
Yeah.
that we would that me and my cousin would beat each other with.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, I did the tonfas also.
Yeah.
Did, you know, I do a lot. You know, I do a lot of the art. You know, and I just mix it up with everything, pretty much. You know, of course the nunchucks. You know, you can never ever not ever do that. You just got to do it. You got to learn it. You know, that's got to be part of your resume.
yeah. So what? Okay. So sorry. Going back as a kid. So you moved to Lansing,
Right.
and you know, was there a specific thing that kind of kept you involved?
Yeah, fighting.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
fighting it as in just like you enjoy doing it, or like the neighborhood, or combination.
It was a combination of everything.
Okay.
You know, growing up here was pretty tough.
Yeah,
You know, it's whether you knew how to fight or you didn't. You know, and of course back in the day, everybody just loved doing karate and stuff like that. So just knowing how to do it and being able to say, "Oh yeah, I do know how to fight."
Yeah.
You know, and people coming up to you and, hey, can you protect me or whatever? Be like, you know, yeah, sure. You know, you know, back in the day. You know, so but it's it's a lot of things that we used to do that just kept me interested in it.
yeah.
Yeah, so
What I guess who would you say would kind of be, you're like a key influence for you growing up in martial arts? I mean, outside of like Bruce Lee,
Outside of Bruce
like
Lee.
it's people you would know. Who do you think? Who would that be?
my cousin Julian, to be
Yeah?
honest with you, yeah, he taught me a lot.
Okay.
Taught me a whole lot, and it's actually because of him as well that I do and still fight because of him. And he's younger than me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's really good at what he does. And the things that he showed me, it's just incredible. He showed me how to be fast, showed me how to make sure to take my time, don't have to hurt somebody to prove that I'm the best or whatever, So, and all that stuff, and all this has helped me to be a better dad, a better grandfather, an uncle, a brother, a son, trying to be there. All that has influenced me to be who I am now.
Yeah.
A great, a coach, a fighter, everything.
Excellent. So on top of fighting, you're also a coach.
Yes.
Like how do you help improve your fighters? What's your coaching method?
My coaching method is I'm a very tough coach.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
but
expect a lot.
Yes and no.
Okay.
You know, if you've been with me for a minute already, yeah, I expect you to do a lot. You know, I expect you to be an example. You know, a good example, not somebody just, I can beat you up because I'm here longer.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, my methods are crazy. A lot of people cannot, you know, I'm not gonna name any names, you know, but you know, but a lot of pros that come to me to work out, they're like, man, you know what? I'll be back later. Let me get a little bit better first, and I'll be back. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, whatever, you know. But yeah, I mean, my methods are a little bit extreme.
What? Give us an example.
uh, you know, running up a mountain, you know, up a hill.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, oh, you know, we could do it this way. Oh, anybody can run up the hill. Oh, okay. Well, we're going to add this, we're going to add this, and we're going to add this.
Okay.
And they're like, all right. And then when they do it, and I was like, oh, okay. Is that good? Yeah, okay, good. Now we're going to add this, this, and this, and this.
So
and they're like, oh, my God. They're like, by the time they get done, you know, they're like,
So you're compounding exercises into kind of simple exercises.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is tough.
It's-
I've trained with you a couple times before, and you know, it's certainly tough.
Yeah, I try to be different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that way people have a good workout. You know, so a lot of people, you teach them the easy workout, and they're like, they lose interest. So I try to give them something different.
Okay.
You know, and they come back. You know, so that's good.
Did you ever compete, kind of growing up, or what was that like?
Well, I went to like I said, I used to go to the other schools,
Yeah.
you know, and fight other guys there.
Yeah.
And, you know, they would come over here, and then well, I was doing Thai boxing, you
Yeah.
know, and I went to Michigan State
Okay.
to do a point karate thing.
Yeah.
And I said, all right, that's when I first started doing the point karate also. And, well, I went to Michigan State. Next thing you know, I ended up doing a flying elbow, knocked somebody out, and they disqualified me. And I was like, what? It's like, I think you're supposed to do this. They're like, no, you ain't supposed to do that. So I said, okay. So
Oops.
that's about as far as I started with that competition thing.
Yeah. All right. So you have quite a unique perspective in that. You know, when you started doing this, like it was the '70s, like it was like in terms of martial arts, it was still kind of like the Wild West. You
Yeah.
know, like everyone I think was still kind of like a purist of their own martial art, whereas you didn't necessarily kind of adopt that. You seemed to kind of move in between all of them. Did you ever kind of receive any, you know, kind of pushback from like what do you call, like the gym owners or the what are they called? Yeah, like the coaches and everything, from, you know, moving from one discipline to another and not just kind of sticking with one thing.
Yeah, some of the coaches would tell me, you got to stay here. This is better than that one.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. But to me, my dad always said, you know, if you want to be good at something, you got to learn from everybody.
Yeah.
You know, and I stuck with that.
That's
That's always
good.
been with me. You know, and I teach my students the same thing. Yes, I'm teaching you, and they're like, hey, you know, I like to go learn, and I'm like, go learn it. Just don't forget your home. That's all I tell them.
That's a good kind of ideology to have. You know, that there's something to learn from. There's something to be learned from everybody.
Yeah.
You know, it's not one coach or one school isn't the only way to do it.
Right. Yeah. I always say, the best fighters are the ones that go out and learn from everybody.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, don't forget your home. You know, where your main home, but go learn from everybody. That is the best fighter there is, because that knowledge that you get. This person may show you something, then this person may show you the same thing, but add a little bit more to it. Maybe you like that better.
Yeah, it's like seeing it's like seeing a picture from, you know, a different angle.
Yeah.
You know, Bruce Lee, he was big on you know, mixing and adapting martial arts to kind of create this one super martial art, and then I think he helped develop the was it Jeet Kune Do,
Yep.
and could almost be considered like a predecessor to like modern day MMA. Would you say?
Yeah.
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 So like what aspects of Jeet Kune Do would be I guess useful in MMA?
Um, well, in Jeet Kune Do, you do everything. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That's what it's about. So you do the grappling, you do the jits, you do everything.
Yeah.
So all that except for like weapons and stuff like that, you can't use in a cage. But you do a lot. You can do a lot. And from what I do and from what I teach, you can use a lot of the Jeet Kune Do in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just depends on the person, pretty much. How they use it. A lot of guys try to get fancy, like you can't do this, you can't do that. I do it all the time.
Yeah.
So it's just all on the person how they're gonna use it.
Are there any kind of like modern day practitioners of Jeet Kune Do in professional MMA that you know of?
No.
No. Is it so like I guess it's these days it's pretty much like kickboxing and jiu-jitsu, and then depending on what world you're from, it's sambo.
Yeah.
Is sambo big here or popular around here?
No,
you
not
know,
really.
no.
We do that Krav Maga and it's like okay.
I don't know anything about. I don't know much about that one.
I just like okay. We'll let it go.
Yeah. All right. So circling back again, you're a coach. You teach. You've taught your own kids.
Yeah.
You've
And my
taught
grandkids.
and your grandkids. You teach professionals, amateurs. What is it? If there's kind of like one point you could get across to all of them, like what do you think that would be?
I guess I try to teach them to stay fit. You know what I mean, and always be ready. And one way to be ready is to learn how to fight.
Yeah.
Anything happens because anything can happen anywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
So I always, when they leave, I always tell them all the time, hey, be careful, watch your surroundings, always. Anything can happen, doesn't mean you're going to win, but it doesn't mean you're going to lose either. Okay?
Yeah.
So at least you have a fighting chance.
Yeah, say oftentimes in like a real world situation, most I call them predators. They're looking for an easy score. So as soon as they realize you're gonna put up a fight, they more often than not they might just kind of give right up.
Right. Yeah.
And then it's certainly good to know a thing or two, in case they decide not to. In case they decide that they want to continue with their score. Speaking on that, have you experienced anything like that in your life?
Yeah, I've gotten fought against a bunch of people that they just come up to you and just try to bully you. It doesn't matter if you're younger or whatever, but you think that people will already be grown up enough to say, you know what, just let it go. Nope, they just want to keep going. And I just tell them, hey, go over there. I don't want to fight you. I'd rather walk away than to get in trouble.
Yeah, for sure.
And sometimes they just don't get it.
Have you ever had anyone try to like test your reputation?
All the time.
Really?
All the time. They always want to make sure. Hey, what about this? Hey, well, come on, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I just like go over there. Not all the time. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I always tell them, I don't care what you say.
Mm-hmm.
If you touch me, that's a threat.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I ain't got no choice.
Yeah, for sure.
But other than that, I'd rather walk away.
Yeah, no, it's smart. There's a lot of trained people who just that's one of the things about learning a martial art is that like you get that discipline that you don't necessarily need to test yourself.
Right.
You kind of already know, and you had that confidence about you to where you don't have to prove yourself, so to speak.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and if someone were to try and come and test you one way or another, you can back away. And then these days, God, you hit someone and they could have had a underlying condition, and hit their head, and now now they're gone or something like that. And that then a simple situation went from something easy where you could have just walked away to now maybe that person's seriously injured. And that, I think a lot of people, it might be tough for them to just leave that situation and walk away. But I think it definitely shows the type of character someone has to be able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, because I get people that they see something happening and they look at me like, "Hey, aren't you gonna go help them?" I'm like,
No.
"Aren't you gonna go help them? You have a phone. Just call the police."
Yeah.
I ain't trying to get in trouble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, I thought you knew all this stuff. I do. That doesn't mean I have to. I'm not a superhero.
Yeah.
It's like, dang, a lot of people do that. I just call the police, man.
Yeah.
It's better to walk away, So.
Yeah, for sure. And then sometimes even maybe by you getting involved, that might just kind of accidentally escalate the situation.
Right.
You know, and especially when situations just require just the opposite.
Yeah. And these days everybody carries a gun.
Yeah.
So and it's
especially
like,
around here.
Yeah, I mean, I can fight, but I can't. I'm pretty sure I can't beat a bullet.
Yeah, you're not bulletproof.
Right.
That we know of.
Right. Well,
maybe you are. I don't know.
I'm going to say no.
Yeah, let's not test that. You had your first pro fight.
Yeah.
How long ago was that now? You were
54.
54, your first pro fight.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Well, I came out of retirement from fighting at the age of 50.
Okay.
And they asked me to do an amateur fight at the age of 50, and I was like, yeah, sure, why not? So we did. My friend Ron DeLeon, he went ahead and he asked me to fight another coach.
Okay.
So I said, sure, why not? So then did that, and it was a big success. Everybody came out. Everybody came out.
Yeah, I was there for that one.
Yeah. So
it was the Lansing Center.
At the Lansing Center. Yeah. First time ever sold out. It was cool. So I did that, and I won. I won the coaches challenge and everything. And then the other promoter, 4 years later, had asked me if I wanted to fight. Pete, he asked me to fight at TWC.
What's that one?
Total Combat Warriors. Okay. So I did that. Total War Combat, whatever. One of those.
Yeah.
So then he said, hey, I want you to come and fight for me, but I want you to turn pro. And I'm like, sure. Why not? I've always wanted to go pro anyways.
Yeah.
By the way. So I just thought that, well, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't, that kind of thing. But I took the opportunity and said, yeah. So did that, fought a younger guy, beat him.
How much younger?
Dang, let me see. I think he said he was 27.
Damn.
Or something like that.
That's got to feel real good, because you'd be fighting someone who arguably is, maybe they're not quite at their peak yet, but peak of their prime, but they are, they're nearing it. And, no offense, but, you're kind of coming down. I don't know, maybe not. I don't know, 50 is the new 30 these days, so that's got to be a huge ego boost, to be able to not even go to a decision, but to, a TKO of someone significantly younger than you.
Yeah, it feels great. Every time somebody wants to fight me, I'm like, hey, you know what? I don't care. You know what I mean? I have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Yeah.
If I win, you're the one's going to be embarrassed. If you win, you just beat up an old
You're
man.
supposed to.
Yeah, like you just beat an old man up. I may not look like my age. I may not look my age, but
Yeah.
you know, everybody's just like, well, you know what? It's whatever. It's like, yeah, okay, it's whatever. They went, my last opponent, I told him, because when we got done fighting, he just looked at me and I go, so, she was pretty good. You get beat up by a 54-year-old, huh? He just like goes, what do you mean you're 54? It's like, yeah. He goes, no way. It's like,
You
yeah.
didn't look into it?
Yeah. He's like, dang it. Yeah, his coaches all got mad at him, but it was fun though. It was fun.
So, in the lead up to your amateur fight, so you're asked to kind of come out of retirement. What did you kind of do different? Because up to that, you would have been coaching.
Yeah.
Like how did you change things to go from coaching to preparing for a fight?
Well, when I'm coaching, I spar a lot with the guys, anyways.
Okay.
I'm not that coach that's gonna sit back and tell you what to do. You know what I mean?
So you're in it. You're doing it with them.
I'm doing it with them.
Okay.
Put your gear on, let's go. I do it to big guys, the little guys, whatever. Because I always tell everybody the best coaches are the ones that go and do hands-on.
Yeah.
Not the ones that are just going to kick back and give you instructions. Even though that's not a bad thing. If it works for you, great. Yeah. If it works for you, great. But this is the way that I do it.
Yeah.
So I felt like I was in really good shape and everything. So I went ahead and did that. When I was 50, the guy was 33 years old, and came out really good. Because I was in shape, anyways.
Yeah.
At least I felt that I was in shape, and that was that pretty much. I ended up winning.
So you kind of, because of your kind of coaching style, you didn't really have to change a lot because you're still you were in it already. You're basically training for the fight you didn't know you were training for.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah.
Right on. So you have your first pro fight. That's pretty wild success. I think would be fair to say.
Yeah.
It's been a couple years now, and now you have your second one.
Yeah. 4 years later.
Yeah.
I'm 58. So they asked me to fight again. Come out of retirement. And I was like, okay. And I said, well, let's see how much money we're talking about first.
Yeah.
So they gave me a good amount, and I said, all right, let's do it. So.
Oh yeah. So where are we fighting at this time? It's there's a Causeway Bay.
Yep, Causeway Bay.
In Southside. And your opponent. What have you done to kind of prepare yourself?
Let me see. Since I'm 58 years old, I took that under consideration and started working out a little harder.
Harder?
So, yeah.
You're going harder now?
Yeah. Some people do 2 a days. I do 3 a days.
Yeah?
Yeah. So I wake up, because I work midnights.
Yeah.
Then the work that I do over there is one of my workouts.
Okay.
Yeah. So I do that. And throw heavy boxes of meat and stuff like that, throw that around. And then I come home, sleep for a little bit, get up, work out again. And after that, at night, I work out again. And right before I go to sleep, I run 5 miles. After that, then I go to sleep for a couple hours, do it all over again. So that's pretty much how it is.
That's hardcore.
Yeah, when I work out, I try to lead an example.
Okay.
Let people see that as much as it sounds like a storybook or whatever, I always tell my grandkids and my kids, don't let nobody tell you can't do it. So
Absolutely.
I want people to see that you can do it. It don't matter what age you are. You really can do it. And what better way to do it is to be an example.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's what I do.
That's awesome. And I guess I never really thought of it like that. You certainly would be an inspiration, especially to your grandkids, to kind of to show them that you can do anything.
Yeah.
You know, and it doesn't matter how old you are either. You can, if you want to do it, you can do it. Do you have any predictions for this weekend? This next weekend?
I'm gonna win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing this for too long to come out losing.
Yeah.
You know, and I have a lot of. It's not being cocky. Everybody's like, "Man, you're being a little cocky." It's like, no, I'm not. It's not being cocky. It's just that I believe in myself, and I have a lot of confidence in what I do. You know, I've been doing this forever, and I'm not gonna let anybody beat me. I'm not.
Yeah.
And if it happens to be that they beat me, like I said, I'm not losing anything. You know what I mean? It's a great experience. I like it. Some people think it's too dangerous. I don't. I just think it's fun. You know?
All right. All right. 2 questions real quick. One, actually I'll start with this. My aunt, how did she feel about you in your first amateur fight? What was she like?
Well, I'm lucky to be alive.
Yeah.
And then, well, she didn't like it at first. And then you know, I talked to her about it, whatever. And she was like, well, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first one. So the second one, she didn't really know about it until I think maybe a month before.
Really?
After, yeah, because he ended up posting it on Facebook.
Okay.
And yeah, she thinks got something.
Were you just gonna go away for the weekend or something like that? Or?
I should have. Yeah, so she found out about it, and I was like, well, I was gonna tell you, but obviously you seen Facebook, and
Yeah.
she's like, yeah, obviously. So she didn't like it too much at all, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, but she, you know, but it's not that she didn't believe in me. It's just that it had to do a little bit with the age.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
So
I get
yeah, he's like, I don't want you to get hurt, kind of thing. And I was like, hey.
You don't want to ruin that pretty face either.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a moneymaker.
Yeah, only she can love it.
Yeah.
But I was like, hey, you know, I've been doing this forever, you know, and it's part of the game.
Yeah.
You know, and she said, okay, you know, so accepted it pretty much.
Yeah.
Because I already signed the contract.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, like her support, I'm sure, has been, you know, pretty integral to your overall success.
Yeah, she's, you know what, I play around about it and everything, but my wife is my biggest supporter. She really is. You know, sometimes she may not like it, but she'll be like, you know what, if you're going to do it right. You know what I'm saying? She'll wake me up, hey, go run. Hey, you got to do this.
Yeah,
Hey, it's time for you to go work out.
Yeah, earlier this week when we were together, we were all eating pizza, and I saw you over there, like, trying to get some sniffs in, and she's like, have you done your run yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. There really is, because, like, especially if you're in any kind of relationship and doing this, it's not just you that you have to think about. You know?
Right,
And
yeah.
especially, like, your kids, my cousins, we're all adults, you know, so you don't necessarily have to worry about that anymore. But, you know, like, it's tough, you know. Imagine, you know, especially coming from my aunt's point of view, something happened to you, you know, it would be,
Yeah.
you know, it wouldn't be easy for sure. And then what I'm trying to say, if something happened, you know, and then to kind of think that maybe, you know, you could have stopped it or whatever, you know, that's a lot to play with. But yeah, to know that she has your back on it, like it's going to be super, super helpful, especially in training doing these 3 days.
Yeah, you know, when I took this last fight, she, you know, she was a little bit iffy about it,
Yeah,
you know.
understandably.
Yeah. So, you know, and I wasn't going to take it at first, and then, because I wanted her to be right here, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? We're together, you know, you agree, then I'll do it. And I was going to call it off or whatever, then she's like, well, go ahead. You know, I said, you know, because I told her, I said, this is what I do.
Yeah,
You know, this is my passion. I love doing this. And she understood that and everything, and we talked. She said, well, you know your aunt. Go ahead. Just go ahead and do it, So I said, all right. So as long as you're all right with it and I got your blessing, I'm good. She said that, and it's like, I was like, it's go time,
Yeah.
So, she supports me a lot, a
That's
lot.
what's up.
So,
Yeah, no, that's certainly critical to have someone that influential to kind of have your back.
yeah.
So speaking of someone of influence, you're always the coach, but who's coaching you now?
You know what? The people, what better to have people to coach you than your own students,
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because my students, I put them through hell. Sorry, excuse French.
Say
But
whatever you want.
yeah, but I put them through hell,
Yeah.
in training. Why? Because I want them to be the best. Everyone wins, everyone loses. I get it, But if you're gonna do the cage fighting and stuff like that, I want you to go out there and be 100%
Yeah.
and more. So they trained me, you know. Um, one of my first guys that went pro for me. One of my students is Jack Ho,
Yeah.
and I trust this guy with everything. I trust all my students. But Jack Ho was my first pro fighter, and even though he's retired, he still comes in here. Hey, you need help with getting ready? Say, yeah, of course. Then he just comes in, puts me through more hell than I put him through.
Payback almost.
And that's
yeah.
pretty much how it is too. That's why I'd rather have my own students, put me through the conditioning, put me through the sparring, put me through everything, And he's done an excellent job. I feel great. I feel better than before.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even though I'm 58 years old, I just go. I got great speed, and he's like, hey, do this, do this, do this, okay. And, I just do everything, pretty much what he tells me, And then I got Robert Gidron. He also helps me out. He's also my pro fighter as well. And I get with him and does the same thing.
Are they going to be your corners then?
Yeah, they're going to be in my corner. I got everybody want to be in my corner, so it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's a pretty trusted, almost kind of sacred position to have.
yeah,
As for a fighter. Yeah, for a fighter.
yeah. And then of course I got my cousin Julian. He's the one that that I got my black belt through and everything, and taught me a whole lot as well. So yeah, so he's going to be there to help me out as well. So and of course, like I said, everybody wants to be on the team. You know what I'm saying? They want to be in the corner. And I'm like, hey, if you help me, I don't care. You can be in the corner, even though they have so many corners only.
Yeah.
But I try to share whatever it is I'm doing with everybody. So, but it's pretty cool. I got a lot of people that are going, and I'm excited about it.
I'm looking forward to watching it. Unfortunately, I won't be there, but I will be watching, and maybe you'll hear me.
Yeah, I'll hear you.
Yeah. That fight will be tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun.
Hell yeah. So before we, kind of head out, I got one last question. What is it about MMA or combat sports or anything in general? If you had to kind of just tell someone off the street, anyone, if you had to get one point across to someone who maybe was mildly interested, what would it be?
Well, I tell everybody, if you want to be a winner, not just in life itself, be a winner and stay in shape, be ready for anything, and come and have some fun. It's all about having fun.
Yeah.
If you're not having fun doing it, don't do it. That's all it is.
Oh yeah. All right, man. Look, I appreciate your time. I'm looking forward to this fight. And we're gonna have to get you out, Dublin.
I would love to go.
To train
I
at
would love to
SPG.
go train there.
You're welcome to stay in my house. You know that.
Oh yeah. I'll stay in the gym if you want me to.
We'll go every day. Yeah, I'd love to get you out there. Maybe I'll talk to some people and see if we can get you in on a promotion there. They might be interested.
Hey, I'm game.
I'm
game.
I'll throw it out there.
You know, yeah. You say it, I'll go.
I'll throw it out there. Yeah. Look, here, like I said, thanks for this. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, anytime.
I want to do this again, and hopefully we can do it again in Dublin.
That would be great. Yeah, that would definitely be great.
Thank you. All right, man. Yeah. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, nephew. I love you.